All right. We are just going to talk real quick about what you can expect to see on your test. I'm not going to go over any other problems with you today. If you need to review a certain concept, you'll have to go back to the videos where I talked about that because I don't want one person to have to sit through the whole video if there's only one thing that they don't know how to do. So I'm going to break apart what's going to be on the test by the different lessons that I've made, the videos that I've made. Okay, so I'm going to go over each one. And if you remember, oh, that was hard for me, I did not know how to do that, then I want you to write down that lesson so that you can go back and review that video before you take the test. Okay, so the first one that we talked about was lesson 93. That was the very first lesson that was online. Okay, and we estimated multiplication and division. We estimated the product. Product is the answer to a multiplication problem. We estimated the quotient. Quotient is the answer to a division problem. And when we estimated multiplication, we rounded to the nearest tenth, or the nearest 10. So if we did 43 times 23, we rounded 43 to the nearest 10 and 23 to the nearest 10. And then division, the quotients, that one was a little bit harder. You had to find the number that whatever you're dividing it by could go into. So if you did not know how to do that, go back to number 93, the video on Canvas that says lesson 93, estimating multiplication and division. Click on that, it'll be the link to the video, and you can watch that video again. Lesson 94 were the two-step word problems. Remember the two steps? We did ones about age. So-and-so is this many years old, and then you had to find how old the other person was before you could find how old the other person was, right? There's like 3 people. We also did talked about money and buying peaches. That was one of the problems that we did. He gave the cashier $10, the cashier gave him $6 back. So you had to say, okay, so it really only cost $4. And then he bought 7 pounds. So how many did each pound cost? Something like that. Okay, so if you don't remember how to do those, go back. That's lesson 94. Okay, the next one is lesson 95. This was one of the trickiest ones, so you might want to go back and watch this video before you take the test. It was two-step word problems about a fraction. So for example, I think one of them was how many people were wearing green vests or something like that. It said 2/3 of the 30 people were wearing green vests. So you had to figure out how much 1/3 was, and then you had to do 1/3 plus 1/3 to figure out 2/3. So that was an example. If you don't remember how to do those, then you need to go and watch that video on lesson 95. We also had a review day where I went over perimeter, area, money, multiplication, and division. So if you don't know how to do any of those things, you need to go watch the review video. They are in that order. So if you know how to do perimeter, area, money, and multiplication, but you don't remember how to do division, just go to the end of that video because this is the order that it's in. It's in perimeter, or the order is first perimeter, and then area, and then money, and then multiplication, and then division. Okay, so perimeter first, then area. Okay, and that is the review. It says Monday review, is what it says on Canvas. Okay, the next one is geometric solids. That's where we talked about cones and spheres and rectangular prisms and things like that. There were 7 that you needed to memorize. So if you don't remember those, just go back to that video real quick and you can take a look at those. Just give yourself a little refresher before you take the test. Lesson 101, that was when we read a table and a schedule. One girl, we tried to figure out how much time she spent at school because she left her school started at 8 o'clock. It got over at 2:45 and she was in lunch for 45 minutes, right? So we just had to read that table. We also had one about, it had all the continents. It told us how many countries were in each continent and the area and the population. We just had to know how to read that table. So if you don't remember how to do that, go back and do that. To lesson 101, you could watch that video again to prepare you for the test. And then the last one, this is what we did yesterday, so hopefully you remember it. Tenths and hundredths on a number line. So if I give you a number line, will you be able to tell me what number it is? And will you be able to convert a decimal into a fraction? So remember, if I have 3.2. I don't say 3.2, right? I say 3 2/10. So you need to know that those two numbers are the same thing. And you need to know how to get from one to the other, right? Another thing you might need to know, if it was 3.44, you need to know, oh, so that's 3 44, not tenths, but hundredths, because we are in, this is the tenths place, that's the hundredths place, okay? So those are all the things that you need to know for your test. When you take your test today, it will be 20 questions, just like our normal test. 20 questions. In the test, I'm also going to put some facts that you should know. So it will be 20 questions of these kinds of problems, but there will also be some facts, multiplication and division facts that you should have memorized. So it will actually be longer than 20 questions, but those fact ones you should know real quick, right? If I say, what's 3 times 0? That shouldn't take you very long to figure out, right? You're just going to say, no, not 3. You're going to say 0. Okay, so those will be really quick. Okay, so your test today is closed notes. I know you're at home. I know it's different than when you're normally at school. You don't have to put up that nice little divider. You don't have to put a uniform on, but you do need to take your test just based on what you remember. So before you click on that test, review these concepts, make sure you understand them, and then I want you to take the test without any notes, without asking your older brother, your older sister, your mom, your dad, your grandma, whoever it is. Don't ask them how to do something. I just want to know what you know. So just answer it to the best of your ability. It will be multiple choice, so it'll be a little bit easier than the test that you normally take, okay? So good luck on your test. Remember, you know more than you think you know. So just review some of these concepts and then just try your very, very best. And hey, you can take your test in your pajamas if you want, so that's cool. Good luck on your test, and then have a great weekend. I will talk to you guys later.